Salvator Mundi. Let's start with something crafted by human hands, a work of art. And in the end, we will reach the most expensive thing on the list. Of course, you might say paintings are expensive, but how much are we talking? $1 million? 10 million? In 2017, a painting was put up at a public auction called Salvator Mundi, painted by the legendary artist Leonardo da Vinci over 500 years ago. This painting wasn't large. Its length was about 66 centimeters and width 45 centimeters. Just old oil paints on a walnut wood panel. But when the bidding started, the numbers skyrocketed insanely until the winning bid landed on a shocking $450 million, meaning about 1,700 million Saudi riyals, for a single piece of wood. With this price, it became the most expensive art piece sold in human history. Imagine paying the budget of an entire ministry just to hang a piece of wood in your living room. But in the world of art and history, a stroke of Da Vinci's brush is considered a priceless treasure. However, prices from here start rising more. Deathstalker scorpion venom. Now we move to liquids. If I told you what the most expensive liquid in the world is, you would say liquid gold, a rare perfume, or maybe printer ink because it's irritatingly expensive. But the most expensive liquid in the world comes from a creature most of us fear, the scorpion, specifically a species called the Deathstalker scorpion. Imagine that a single gallon, about 3.8 liters, of this scorpion's venom reaches a price of $39 million. Why this crazy price? For two reasons. First, the extraction process is literally a nightmare. You can't bring a machine and milk scorpions in bulk. A specialist must hold the scorpion by hand and extract the venom drop by drop manually, and every scorpion gives a negligible amount, about 2 milligrams. So to fill a gallon, you need to milk hundreds of thousands of scorpions, and every grab risks your life because its sting is lethal. Second, this venom isn't for killing. This venom is for life. Scientists discovered that the venom of this scorpion has a specific protein that binds to brain tumor cells and makes them glow. And this helps surgeons pinpoint the exact location of tumors with unbelievable precision and excise them without harming the healthy brain. Meaning, a single drop of this venom could save a human life, and that's why its price is more expensive than diamonds. And even so, there are things much more expensive than it. Californium, 252. We step one level up and enter the world of chemical elements. Diamonds are expensive, right? A single gram of pure diamond can reach $600,000. But this is considered nothing compared to an element called californium, 252. This radioactive element's price reaches $27 million per single gram only. Why is it so expensive that a single gram of it buys you a fleet of Lamborghini cars? Because it is nearly impossible to find in nature. This element is manufactured inside highly advanced nuclear reactors, and there are only 2 or 3 places in the whole world that can produce it, in America and Russia. And its production process takes years of complex radioactive bombardment. Well, what is its benefit? Californium emits neutrons massively, and they use it in very sensitive things like detecting oil and groundwater wells, exploring gold and silver underground, and even used in treating some types of stubborn cancers that normal radiation doesn't help with. Its rarity and the difficulty of manufacturing it made it the most expensive chemical element in the entire periodic table. And strangely, the coming thing is much simpler, yet more expensive. British Guiana 1 cent magenta stamp. Imagine with me a very small piece of paper whose weight is less than 0.04 grams, meaning lighter than a feather and poorly cut. This small paper was sold at a public auction in 2014 for $9.5 million. This is the British Guiana 1 cent magenta stamp, and it is classified as the most expensive postage stamp in the world. If you calculate the price of this stamp by weight, a single gram of it costs about $237 million, meaning more expensive than gold, diamonds, and the californium we talked about before, and nothing surpasses it in price for the gram except antimatter. Why is this small paper so expensive like that? The secret is in absolute rarity. In 1856, the British Guiana colony in South America was cut off from the stamps that used to come to them from Britain due to delayed ships. The post manager there got stuck, so he asked a local newspaper print shop to print temporary emergency stamps to keep work going until the ship arrived. They printed a very simple quantity of 1 cent and 4 cent denominations, and after the original shipment arrived, the temporary stamps were withdrawn and destroyed in a way. One single stamp only from the 1 cent category survived the destruction and was found by a 12-year-old boy in his uncle's old papers in 1873. Mercedes 300 SLR. If you ask me about the most expensive car in the world, you might say Rolls-Royce, Bugatti, or a classic Ferrari. All of these cars are luxurious, but not a single one of them comes close to the legend Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe, model 1955. In 2022, Mercedes made a secret and closed auction in its museum in Germany and invited a very small number of the wealthiest car collectors in the world. This car was sold for an amount that broke all historical records, 135 million euros, meaning about $142 million, or more than 500 million Saudi riyals, for a single car only. What made this Mercedes the most expensive car in history? This car had only 2 copies manufactured in the whole world. It was designed by the genius engineer Rudolf Uhlenhaut and was considered the fastest car driving on streets in that period. Its speed reached 290 kilometers per hour in 1955, and this was something out of fantasy. This car never entered a race, and Mercedes kept both copies in its museum and secret warehouses for more than 60 years and wasn't planning to sell them ever. And when they decided to sell one of them finally, the money that came from its sale didn't go to the company's pocket, but they put it in a global charity fund to support student scholarships in environmental and science fields. A car with dreamy design, absolute rarity, and a mighty engine made it reign on the car throne forever. Codex Leicester. If you were one of the richest people in the world like Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, what could you buy? In 1994, Bill Gates entered a public auction and bought a notebook consisting of 72 pages only. This is not just any notebook. This manuscript is called the Codex Leicester, and the one who wrote it by hand is the genius Leonardo da Vinci at the start of the 16th century, around 1510. Bill Gates paid in this notebook $30.8 million, and if we calculate it with inflation today, it comes out to more than $50 million. Well, why is this notebook expensive to the point that it is considered the most expensive book in history? Because it contains Da Vinci's ideas, theories, and scientific drawings that were centuries ahead of their time. He talks in it about the movement of water, how the moon glows, and details about gravity before Newton discovered it. And the thing that blows the mind in this manuscript is that Da Vinci wrote it in a mirrored writing method, meaning you cannot read the words in it unless you put the manuscript in front of a mirror and reverse the letters. Bill Gates, after he bought it, made a digital scan of it and made it as screen wallpapers in Windows 95 to share this heritage with the world. But the original copy is still kept with him as the most expensive book in human history. Red diamond. We all know that diamonds are expensive, and we see transparent white diamonds in jewelry. But in the world of gemstones, clear diamonds are considered common and normal compared to the true kings. And the most expensive and rarest type on Earth is the red diamond. Imagine that scientists and experts say that the number of pure red diamonds discovered in the whole world is less than 30 diamonds only. Diamonds usually take their color from impurities that enter their composition. For example, nitrogen makes it yellow, and boron makes it blue. But the red diamond blows scientists' minds because it doesn't have any impurities. Its bloody red color comes from a structural deformation in its atomic lattice grid, a deformation that happens due to terrible pressure and heat in the Earth's core during its formation for millions of years. Because of this impossible rarity, the price of a single carat, which weighs 0.2 grams only from the red diamond, reaches more than $1 million. The most famous one existing today is called the Musayyaf red diamond. Its weight is 5.11 carats only, meaning the weight of a small bean seed, and its price is estimated at about $20 million and stored in secret vaults under tight guard. Eclipse Yacht. And from here, we start entering the billion prices. We conclude with the most expensive personal vehicle owned by an individual in the world. Billionaires love yachts, and everyone likes to flex with a longer yacht than the other. But the Eclipse yacht, owned by the Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, its construction cost reached about $1.5 billion. This yacht's length is 162 meters, and it's not just a floating hotel. It has 2 pools, 2 helicopter landing pads, and a small submarine that descends to a depth of 50 meters. What made its price reach this terrifying number is that it is designed like a mobile military fortress. The yacht is equipped with a full missile defense system to shoot down any missile targeting it. The owner's suite is fully covered with bulletproof armor, and all windows are bulletproof glass. And on top of all this, the yacht has an anti-paparazzi laser system. This system detects any camera sensor directed at the yacht from afar and shoots a laser beam at it,